subjective.
No, it's not. It's
That's why we
objective,
have
brother.
that's why we have the golden ratio, the
That's
Fibonacci
right.
equation.
That's
You
right.
can look at
That's
facial
right.
symmetry and see that
That's right.
beautiful people, you can map their facial structure, and it goes to a mathematical calculation.
Oh yeah.
Beauty is universal. And the
Yep.
thing is, we're talking about black women, they are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks. Facial symmetry, even to the way to black women are starting to look more masculine.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Macentos. I decided instead of going live to just make the video because it's late at night. I just finished watching someone's live stream. I didn't finish, it's still happening right now, but I decided to make this in response. So I'm minding my business cooking and I get a ton of messages saying, this woman is talking about you in the Manosphere. This woman is talking about you in the Manosphere. Come watch. And so I'm like, oh my God. They're going to be out here dragging me or attempting to drag me, calling me FAG, homosexual, gay, infidel, all kind of whatever, right? So I'm like, oh, that's what's going to happen. So I just grabbed my popcorn. I grabbed my popcorn and I was ready. I went to like watch and then laugh because, again, I associate homophobia with low IQ. Look, that's what the research says. If it's not true, it's not true, but that's kind of what I believe. So, and maybe I only believe it for my own protection, right? So if someone is attacking me and I believe, oh, like I don't punch down and look at this poor person who does not have the mental capacity to understand something, like it's easier for me to be sympathetic even when someone is being mean to me. So I have conceptualized hatred towards me, even though I've never really talked about my sexuality online, never will. Maybe I will, I don't know. But for now, I don't care to. So like when I see that, I'm like, interesting. Low IQ, lack of intelligence, all of that. So that's what I expected. And I saw some of that in her chat. By the way, her name is Courtney Michelle. Her channel is I Am Courtney Michelle. But she didn't do that. And so when she responded to the video, she didn't really say much. She just moved on. And there was a moment where I got really sad, and this is why I'm rambling now. I got really sad because she was like, I am tangential to the manosphere, and y'all hurt my feelings. What you guys are doing is hurting my feelings. And I thought back to her, because I'm not new to her. I've seen her before. And when black men were starting a movement saying, save yourself, black man, and passport bros, she was the only woman that was in the manosphere that I know of that came out and said, no, 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 no. It's not save yourself, black man. It's save your community, black man. And she was pushing the idea that black men had a responsibility to take care of their community, and black women also have a responsibility to take care of their community. Now, obviously, there's a ton of people who disagrees with her, but as she said this, I thought, maybe she's not that bad, right? Because for me, hearing black women in the manosphere saying, yeah, save yourself, black man, forget these black women, go overseas for women, like, that's what the divestors are saying. That's what BWE is saying. Look, I've watched enough women on BWE to know that in response to the passport bros and save yourself black man conversation, they're like, yes, where do we donate? Like, there is no black woman. There is zero black woman in BWE that I know of that is upset or concerned. In fact, they're like, go. Like, even when I'm saying, oh my God, these men should probably help their community, my chat is like, yeah, no, we don't care. Let them go. They're the ones who need to go if you can. So, cutting all of this short, the fact that I saw women in the manosphere agreeing with BWE about men leaving, but agreeing for different reasons is weird. But Courtney Michelle was like, yeah, y'all need to save your community. And when I said she got dragged, I felt bad. And so she was always sort of in the back of my mind. I disagreed with her on the Woman King. I disagreed with her on a lot of stuff, but she was always in the back of my mind because one thing that I look for is consistency. And she was consistent in it's about the community. It's about the community. So even though she is dragging black women, she was also saying black men need to save their community and not leave their community. So I was like, okay, let me leave that alone, right? It's a ramble. I'm sorry. So watching her react and not being mean on the thing, it was a new feeling for me. I was like, this is weird. Where's the drag? I'm here with my popcorn ready for you to drag me. Where is this drag? She didn't. And I was like, all right, let me just watch and listen to what she's saying. And she was hurt. She is hurt because the Manosphere has chosen to elevate Oyster over the other black women there. But I don't think that's the problem. I don't think she cares about the elevation, which she should have. Like, all of them should be mad about the elevation. I think she cared when it was, this woman said something racist, and all of y'all are not all, a lot of y'all who were her friend, because I've seen them collab, are defending this woman, singular. And they're going after her and other women who object to them defending Oyster. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm going to watch. And she's pouring her heart out. And then this man comes on. Now, I don't know if she thinks her audience are the good men that she needs to defend the community for. But let me step back. I'm not even going to edit this. This is going to be what it's going to be. I'm not editing any of this out. So it's going to be a long, drawn out little conversation I'm having with myself because I want it to be live. Before I get to her and this man, the other women, and I don't talk about women in the Manosphere as a general matter. This video is not actually about Courtney Michelle. I just kept watching because I was curious. So as I kept watching, the men come up. And so this video is about the men. I don't talk about the women in the Manosphere, but I'm going to make a slight exception insofar as I'm going to show you how two women in the Manosphere are reacting to the Pearly Things incident, the Oyster incident. I'm going to play that for you, and then I'm going to play Courtney Michelle because a lot of other women in the Manosphere have come out viciously opposing what the men are doing in defense of Oyster. So that much is clear. So I'm going to play two reaction, and these women, I think, are trying to figure out how to approach this conversation. So let's play the first reaction. I'm not reacting to the reaction. I'm just going to play it because I'm not talking about these women, but I'm just going to play it.
Racist chick, just KK things, who said slavery was exaggerated and said who would sleep with. I personally didn't hear her say all of that. I didn't watch the video, y'all. As I said on Sunday, I'm not participating in the conversation because that's not what my channel is about. I mean, so, but you know who talked about it? Everybody else. So if y'all want to hear everybody else's point of view on it, if y'all want to hear the topic on like everybody else to talk about it, y'all can just go watch. But no, that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about how black women are fighting so hard to be at the bottom. The cancers in the community fighting so hard because why? As Ben sister said, cancer must be cut out from your body. And those of
So she's not going to talk about Pearly Things. Instead, she's going to talk about black women and their fight to be at the bottom, is what she said. Not going to... And period. So let's hear what Melanie King had to say about it.
Fight a good fight. Are you still going to respond to the Pearl situation, or is that going to be uploaded soon? So I've been advised by the men in my life, my father, other men in the space, to take a chill pill and let the men lead in this. If you go and see my comments on O'Shea's video and MTR, I've been in talks with different people behind the scenes. You know, I'm going to address it when I'm ready. But when I address it, I don't want to just talk. I want to, because myself and my sister had a conversation with her. If you guys don't know, I was raised in DC, the cradle of civil rights. A lot of you guys do not know my history or my background, because I'm just a mixed white girl. You don't know this. And so you don't know the involved, like, you don't understand. Okay. So when I do something, I don't want to just respond with my feelings, my personal anecdotes, whatever. I think it's a teachable moment. And so I want to put together a video to teach and open up a conversation with people who may think a certain way about us as Black people, or don't know the history that we have, don't understand that anything you see in Hollywood that is depicted about slavery is not even it's like princess fairy tales. Because the real atrocities, if you've ever been to the New African Museum in DC, or the African American Museum in Baltimore, like, this is what I grew up doing. Okay. My father went to Million Man March, the March on Washington, like, I Have a Dream, like, all of that. Okay. So I've encountered these conversations at a different level. And I realize it's an opportunity to educate and not argue. And so that is what I'm working on. So I'm not going to, you will see my response, but that is not what today's business is about. So don't call up and ask me about it. Don't ask me about it. I gave you my answer. If you can't respect that, you got to go. You have to go. So if you don't like it,
I Have a Dream and all of that. So that was Melanie King and Chantel's response. Now, will they be responding some more? Melanie King said there's a video coming where she's going to educate people. Look, again, this is not about the women. I have no issues with the women in BWE. In fact, their existence is why I know that the men are lying when they say women don't, quote unquote, protect men and stand up for Black men and all Black women are bad because they're bashing Black men. It's like, no, they're over there too. And they represent, women in the manosphere for me represent most Black women in America that I've come across, right? And so I find it really ironic to see all of that happening in the manosphere with Oyster and the men's and what they're doing. So, period, right? But it's not about that. I'm here sitting down, eating popcorn, but sad because I wasn't getting dragged. But watching Courtney talk and engage and putting her vulnerability out there insofar as she's saying, I want men to live up to the mantle of manhood and take care of their community and care, and I think they can, and they're kings, and I belong to men, and Black men belong to me, and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm not lying about that. I know y'all think I'm lying, so I'm gonna play her saying that this is not a drag. Do not mess with this young woman.
That's all that matters. I'm willing to degrade myself for a chance to talk to someone. That is the groupiest thing that I've ever seen. That is the most self-hating thing that I've ever seen. You're willing to degrade who you are, what you look like, your fellow mate, for what? These niggas ain't even getting paid to do it.
The crazy thing about it,
you ain't getting $5 for you to degrade yourself and to degrade your woman. And I say woman because Black women belong to Black men. Period. Black men belong to Black women. Period. Y'all, all three of y'all mine. You mine.
the crazy thing about it is, I can kind of understand.
So, like, she did say it, and she also said last night that she's not a quote-unquote Black male worshiper. She only worship God, and she specified that Jesus, because she doesn't understand when everyone says God, they usually not talking about her God, so she says Jesus, but she cares for Black men, and she's all but, in my mind, thrown herself down at the altar of Black men. So Black men listening to her should feel loved, right? As a Black man listening to her, there's a part of me that's cringing because I don't see the reciprocity. And she was talking about the lack of reciprocity, right? So but I also know, like, it feels like she likes me. Like, it feels like she cares, but the care that she gives is the care that cuddles you and make you feel like the world, everything is good, as opposed to, like, no, you need to get up and go do something, right? So if I'm listening to her as a Black man saying, you all hurt my feelings, the men in the space are protecting this woman, y'all should not be protecting this woman. I feel bad. You guys need to stop protecting this woman because a lot of us are here for you and we care about you, is what she's saying. The first man, I kid you not. So I'm listening and I'm like, oh, this is why I do what I do, right? This is why I feel like someone need to reciprocate, because girl, someone needs to reciprocate this kind of love and care. Like someone, you have to. Like, if people keep telling you how much they love you and care about you and uplift you and carry you and raise you and all of that, at some point that will be withdrawn if you don't reciprocate. There is no one that's going to just sit there and take abuse. There's no one that's just going to sit there and ignore the fact that their image is being dragged through the mud. No one is about to do that long term. And if they try to do it, there will be a ton of women all over online, thankfully, saying, yeah, no, 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 no. This is what you're doing wrong, and it's absolutely not okay. So I don't think it's sustainable to expect one-sided loyalty. Like, I don't think it's not sustainable. So as she is talking and being vulnerable, she's opening up the panel, and I'm ready to hear men come up there and say, we are with you, queen. What, you know what they do. Like, I'm expecting that. But that's not what came. Let's watch what happened.
3 years old. What you think I'm gonna do about Oprah? All our ancestors' dad. You are slapping them in the face. Y'all know I'm emotional. Shut up, Brillo. He knows me a little too well. His life was not taken for me to sit on here and shit on Black women. His life was not taken for me to sit here and shit on Black men. He will not die in vain. My ancestors will not die in vain. My family, my child. I am responsible for a lot. It is because of them that I am here. It's because of them that I'm able to do a whole lot of stuff. "60, 70 years ago, my grandmother and my granddad was getting spit on so I could have a seat at the table to get a milkshake. Risked their lives for me to be able to go to a school. And I don't even have, or there's some people that don't even have the decency to call out people that are disrespecting our culture, our people. I have never seen so much disrespect in my life. And that's what saddens me. I'll take a couple calls. Before I do, and this is just a sidebar. Well, I'll say that towards the end. But if anybody wants to come up, I'll put it in the chat. Thank you, Combat Infantry Vet. Oh, thank you for your service. Thank you. Hate begets hate. There has been nothing but hate from Black women for a hell of a long time. Okay. Every Black woman hated you? Every Black woman? Like, some of y'all take stuff to the extreme. Y'all keep talking about Oprah. Well, Oprah did this.
I forgot that. In the middle of, by the way, this is the next day. I'm tired. I got tired. But I try to make it exactly the same aesthetics. So in the middle, of her talking about black men and how they're not protecting her, and she's been here protecting them, at least in the online space, and other women like her, someone is gonna say, but y'all don't say anything about Oprah or whatever they said, or y'all don't say anything about this, or y'all don't say anything about that. And I'm like, I'm confused because these women literally drag other women. They do. And the Cynthia G's name keep popping up. And like, no one has anything to say about Cynthia G. And I'm like, all right, y'all just lying. I'm not gonna entertain you in any way or entertain the notion that everyone just allowed the women in BWE to exist and no one challenged them. That is a lie from the pits of hell. Everyone for the last year that I've been watching any of this online, I mean, I guess 2 years now, y'all been dragging Cynthia G, you've been dragging Crystal and Karazan, you've been dragging Chrissy, you've been dragging Paris Milan. You literally drag all the women in BWE. What do you mean? Like, the fact that y'all sit up here and lie, like, no one had anything to say about Sinji, no one has anything to say about Pink Bill, no. Like, y'all just gonna lie. The same men who consistently drag these women are having panels talking about how no one is dragging these women and that they're all outraged about Pearl, but no one wants to talk about these women. No, you talk about these women. The women in the Manosphere talk about these women. The Muslim lady, wait, pause, stick a pin. The Muslim lady in there, and I keep forgetting her name, she, who y'all said should go to Chicago and go fight crimes in Chicago. Wait, pause. I need to step away for a minute. So, she fights for black women, degrades black women. She fights for black men. She degrades black women consistently and fight tooth and nail for black men. And the one time she disagrees with y'all because she's trying to hold the Oyster accountable for being racist, in her mind, even if you don't think Oyster is racist, in her mind, she thinks Oyster is racist. And she is defending her people, right, against a racist Oyster. And y'all stepped in front of Oyster to drag her and tell her that she needs to be talking about Chicago. I actually agree that she should be talking about Chicago. I don't think you want her to actually talk about Chicago and the crime in Chicago and who is committing these crimes in Chicago. I don't think y'all want her to do that, but because you're upset, y'all are telling this woman that she needs to swoop down in Chicago and say Chicago. You said you lived in Chicago, so I don't know your name. You said you live in Chicago, but you're telling this woman that she's the one who needs to be talking about Chicago. Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? Now, she's been on record talking about how she wants to debate Sinji, and all of these women have been on record talking about the BWE. They call them, literally, they're like calling them hyenas. They're dragging them. I just showed a video of Chantel talking about how disrespecting black women, essentially, about fighting to be at the bottom, right? So they do it consistently. The fact that y'all are weaponizing this idea that they're protecting the sisterhood is ridiculous to me. Y'all are lying. Y'all have been lying. And it's ridiculous that you continue to lie about these women. But it's interesting because you're like, y'all don't have anything to say about the black women who disrespect black men. And I'm like, that's their job. Literally, their job is online to tell these women, where you pay them to tell these women that they're nothing and they will never be anything and black women are bad and blah, blah, blah. That's what they do literally every day, except yesterday and the day before that when they're talking about someone who is outwardly racist, at least in their mind. All right, so let me continue because I actually went on a tangent and that's irrelevant. I'm not going to edit any of this, by the way. I'm pausing to pause, and I left and came back, and now it's 17 hours later. I'm going to continue to play this. I'm going to continue to play this because this is not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is when the first man jumps on the panel. And that's when I was like, I know you're lying. I know you're definitely lying.
Oprah. You ain't say nothing about Oprah. I was 3. Why y'all keep talking about Oprah? Oprah started in 1986. A lot of us wasn't even born talking about Oprah. You didn't talk about Oprah. What was I supposed to talk about Oprah at the age of 3? Y'all use some of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You didn't say nothing about Oprah. When am I going to say something about Oprah at 3? What? Y'all use some of the oldest tactics that can be debunked, like some of your arguments. Literally, are you smarter than a 5th grader? Some of y'all, I'm going to have to say no. What about Oprah? I was 3 years old. What do you think I'm going to do about Oprah?
Interestingly, before we get, I know I'm cutting her off too much. I'm sorry. But I think that's fascinating because I've heard this Oprah statement so much. Now, the question is, that statement you just made about people talking about Oprah, do you think that's more Black men or less Black men? Do you think it is a majority or a minority? And how does that animate you in talking about and defending the collective of us? Like, how does that animate how you engage with content creation about general statements? Like, I think, don't just make these statements. Really think about the implication of who you're speaking to and who's supporting you. I'm going to leave that there because I feel like you need to come to this awakening on your own. But let's continue.
But when you know better, you do better. Some of y'all just want to be stuck on stupid. Not round here. Hey, Paul.
Courtney, hi, how are you?
How are you? You took the hat off.
All right, so Paul, first of all, are we going to say that Paul is a good Black man? Because I think Paul at least is opposed to the racist comments, right? So at least from our perspective, I don't know who Paul is. I probably should title this video Paul. Like, actually, because of how much I'm not invested in this video, I'm going to title the video Paul, period. Like, that's literally going to be the title of this video. But when I'm thinking about Paul and him coming up there, like, is this a bad or good? We don't know, right? But we would assume they're going to say this is a good man, right? Well, let me not say what I'm expecting. Let's hear what Paul has to say about Courtney Michelle, who is complaining about Black men stepping in front of a racist woman to protect her and drag the collective of women who are protecting them in the space, and how, quote, that hurt her feelings. That's what she said, right? She's talking about these men in the space protecting a, quote unquote, racist white woman, and she's sad about it. That is her claim. You would think these men would go up there to reassure her, right? And let her know she's loved and cared for and they appreciate what she's doing for them. That's what you would think. And she seemed to know Paul. She seemed to know him. So let's hear what Paul has to say. Let's hear what the good person has to say.
You done got comfortable.
Yeah, I'm at home. So, and I knew you were live. And I was like, you know, let me hop in and listen. I was doing a couple of things, but I've been listening. But I tried to super chat you, but it wouldn't let me for some reason. I tried to send you some money, but it wouldn't let you. Like, I would type a message and then I would send it, and it would be like unable to send. But that's how they hear it.
White supremacy.
Oh.
What you got for me today?
I wanted to get your thoughts on what I said on Obi's stream earlier, because I knew you were in the chat and I knew you were listening. Mm-hmm. But my whole thing with the Pearly situation was, like I said, I don't give a damn about her. Like, and I didn't see the interview. Full disclosure, I didn't see the interview, so I'm kind of flying blind. But based on the reactions I've seen from everybody else, Obsidian included, you know, it's just like, damn, Pearl fucked up, you know, big time, you know. And I'm like, okay, you know, it is what it is. Y'all can go your own way with that, you know. And I've never been the type of person to say, well, fuck them or anything like that. But I mean, Pearl, she gonna go on her way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here. I'm in my own manosphere space. Because like I said, I am my own king of my manosphere. Who are my kings? My black father, my black uncle, my black grandfather. You know what I'm saying? My sister has a husband. He's a black king. I got nieces and nephews. They're on the come up. You know what I'm saying? I can just be an example to them, and that's it. You know, until I get married and become my like king. You know, one day, because I ain't married yet. You know, but I'm going there. But like I told Alan earlier.
It's the petty in me. He didn't actually say this, but I thought he said, when I get married to my black king. Look, stay out of my comment. Stay out of my comment. Love is love. Don't play with me. Anyway, he didn't say that, though.
It's just that we as a black community, we got to do better as a whole of uplifting our black men, you know. And that's everybody. Black men and black women got to do a better job. You know what I'm saying?
You have absolutely lost your mind. And I know she's not going to say this. I know she's going to, well, I don't know. Maybe she didn't feel any kind of way about this. In a stream where the woman is concerned that after literally, this woman has thrown herself at the altar of black male worship. It is what it is. Again, she said she does not worship black men. She doesn't like this statement. So let me rephrase that then. Let me take that back. I won't edit it out, but I should. No, I'm not. Real recognize real. No, but she's essentially there and saying, I love black men and black men love black women and we should care for each other. That is her whole thing, right? So when she's now complaining about the way she sees these men who are larger in the manosphere caping for this woman, and she feels concerned about it, you're going to hop on her. Calm down. You're going to go on her platform and you're going to tell her that you need to see more black women and black people uplifting black men. It is not your conversation to have yet. This is not what she's talking about. She feels hurt that she's been using her platform to uplift black men, and the men she's been uplifting and working for and helping and working with and thinking they care about her are now out there caping for a white woman who they think is racist, who says slavery was not that bad, essentially, right? And that's what she's complaining about. And instead of going up there to say, that's a few, that's a small minority, we're here for you, thank you for like being out in this way, you shouldn't have to do this, blah, 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 save our community, black man, whatever it is that you need to tell her, because she's now in pain. She said, I am sad, I am hurt by the fact that this is what the men are doing. You jumped on her platform to tell her, I told, like, I was this is why, by the way, I started my stream last night. Not my stream, but my video. I literally saw this and I finished his part. And then another person hopped on there and said some foolishness. We're going to also watch that. I was going to end it on him, but no, we're going to watch the entire tea of what he just said, so we don't take him out of context. And then we're going to watch the other guy too. We're going to watch both actually today, because both of them annoyed me. The first two people, and I actually stopped watching and then said I'm going to do a video on both of them separately, but I'm just going to throw them together because I don't have the patience all the time. It's like early in the morning right now and I'm going to have to go to work right after this. Like, nah, absolutely not. So you jumped up there. Instead of reassuring her, you want her to reassure you. Like, tell me, like, just grabbing your phantom follicles, talking about we need to do a better job of uplifting black men. This is not about you. It's not about you right now. It's about her and her feeling of being pushed aside for someone and being dragged by men, protecting someone who disrespected an entire race of people. That's what it's about. It's not about you. Your feelings and your phantom follicles should not be up there right now trying to get her to feed into your ego. You need to be supporting her. Y'all, how are y'all doing this? And this is your friend. It looks like you know him. This woman said it hurt her feelings that these men will disrespect her for this woman who's seemingly racist. She who has been literally protecting black men. Like, I feel like I need to say something on her behalf. And I should be dragged for this. Honestly, I kind of should be dragged for this because it's like, how do you... No, I shouldn't. If y'all believe black male worship is so strong and entrenched in the culture, then it is the normal consequence that women like this would be out here doing this. So I don't think it's fair to be dragging these women, which is why I don't talk about them. It's unfair to say you should fight your socialization and you should come to this awakening at a time that I came to it. No. It takes people different time to do different things. And so I'm not about to disregard people or disrespect these women. I mean, what they're doing is still toxic. So, like, I get it. I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm just, for me personally, this feels so terrible. Like, all I want to do is say, I understand, and I'm sorry this is happening to you. He jumps on there. Let me stop. Tell me how great I am, essentially. You're talking about us. You're mad at us for protecting that woman, but that's not what I'm here for. Tell me, feed my ego, feed me. Tell me I'm good. Tell me I'm good. If you don't get some self-esteem on your own, like you jumped up on this woman's panel who she's literally talking about how hard it is for her to watch these men cape for this woman who they think is racist. The black women in the manosphere think is racist, and drag these women, and they don't feel protected and safe because of what y'all have been doing in the manosphere with this oyster woman. And you jumped up on there to tell her to feed your ego. You jumped up on a panel to tell her to feed your ego. To tell her that you don't feel, I don't care what you feel right now. That's about me and the women right now. Every other day on the panel, she's talking about y'all and protecting y'all. She fought the woman king. She literally was like, the woman king is dragging black men. It is disrespecting our king and mango juice and jungle and kings and empire. I don't know. She was saying some stuff, right? Every other time her panel is used to uplift black men. Like, if you want a dopamine hit, you just go watch her channel as a black man and you feel like you're the king. Because she's going to protect you. You jumped up on there when she's feeling vulnerable.
It starts with us as black men, but we live in a world where black women are really pedestalized. And I mean that in the most respectful way. It's like,
what's wrong? Aren't you supposed to pedestalize the women in your group? Aren't they supposed to be pedestalized? Do you want to be should black women be? By the way, this is not true. Literally, Malcolm X says this is not true. Malcolm X told him this is not true. Black women aren't being pedestalized, and y'all probably should be pedestalizing them more. But forget that. Courtney is actually having a stream talking about how disrespectful the men in the manosphere are and have been to the women in the manosphere in an attempt to protect a white racist woman, right? Not just a woman, just a white racist woman, a woman they think is white and racist. They're mad at Oyster and they're saying the black men have all but abandoned them in an attempt, the big men in the manosphere, in an attempt to protect this woman. And you go up there to tell her that she's being pedestalized. You're telling her, oh, women have been pedestalized and men... let's continue. Ooh, if I say what I really want to say, I'd probably just get canceled all over. So I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Black girl magic, and it's beautiful to see. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing Black women, own businesses and doing making most, and that's beautiful. But on the flip side of that, what do you also see in mass media about Black men? We're the bad guys, we're the villains, we're the deadbeats. Maury was famous because of us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just sitting there like, damn, guys like me, you hear about, oh, he's a good dude, but that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to.
Nah, change your image. Change it. You worried about a Black girl magic when the manosphere is, you don't feel seen and protected in the manosphere. Sounds like a you problem. Black women came together and created Black girl magic. Pause. On Black girl magic. We realized Black girl didn't have magic. What they had was grit and hard work. What the feminists realized, yes, the Black feminist, was saying Black girl magic actually diminishes the amount of labor that goes into creating that beautiful picture online. It diminishes what women had to go through in school to get that degree. It diminishes the hard work and microaggression that exists within the corporate workspace. It diminishes the actual work that is done. So when you say Black girl magic, no. It is the hard work of Black women that pushed them into whatever that social media platform had to say about them, Black girl magic. And side note, I actually had one of my pictures that I've now deleted been pulled and put on a website for saying Black boy joy. So we just gonna pretend like Black boy joy and Black men smile and Black men laugh wasn't a thing. We're just going to pretend that there aren't a ton of Instagram and social media platform dedicated to the worship of Black men. We're just gonna ignore that, most of which are created by Black women. Let's pause for a second and look at the manosphere, arguably the biggest social media space for Black men. You don't feel safe there. You don't feel seen there. You don't feel beautiful there. You don't feel like you can be vulnerable there. If you don't, that sounds like a you problem. You have a problem in the manosphere if you are telling this woman that you need to see a Black girl magic for Black men. We have a ton of resources, but you have the manosphere. And if the manosphere is building a platform, right, the men in the manosphere, building a movement around degrading Black women, and you don't feel loved and seen and like you are a king or whatever it is that you want to be seen as in the manosphere that you all are operating, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to do. What I do know is you don't get on her platform, even though y'all are friends, to tell her in the moment she's being vulnerable that, oh my God, why aren't people uplifting me? Give me my dopamine hit. Them phantom follicles, girl. Give me my hit. What are you doing? What are you doing? I need to be told I'm good. If you literally don't go get some self-esteem somewhere else. Because at this moment, you're supposed to be reassuring her, not the other way around. Not right now. And Courtney Michelle, please don't react to this video. And if you do, I understand why you would. And I know you are going to have to reject everything that I say, and that's fine. Whatever. You know what? You can react to it. It is what it is. Whatever. You can pretend like I'm not telling you the truth. It is what it is.
Your thoughts on that? I wish you would have come up and I would have been like, hey, Courtney, give me your thoughts. But here we are now. So tell me what's on your mind.
Well, I know you didn't see that interview, which, not that it necessarily matters because history always repeats itself. So it's the same old story of Black people getting taken advantage of, our culture, like the Jerry Springers, like all that is just getting sold, involved, the love and hip hop. It's our dysfunction getting monetized on.
Courtney, you do not have to put your feelings aside. You do not have to tell him what he needs to know. You don't have to tell him his voice is heard and he is loved and cared for. It's not the time. I know he is. He knows he is. He just wants you to tell him right now in front of your audience, which that's what you do. It's fine. You can do it. But right now you said you were hurting. You said that it hurt your feelings what these people are doing to you right now. You need to be reassured. Like, see, this is why I don't watch these channels. Like, I've been watching a ton now because of the whole pearly oyster thing that's happening, but it's like, why? What's his name? Paul? I need to remember his name. Look, I said I was going to name the video Paul, period. At the end of this, I might not know his. Let me write Paul, because I might forget his name. Let's continue.
But you leading your house, yes, but that doesn't mean you can't lead any other places. Like, you will be the leader when you get married of your household, yes. Then the importance of your father, yes. But you be on here, you be in the YouTube streets, you be in the chat, your voice matters. You're on a platform. You have almost 460 people watching you, and this is your time to speak up. And I think that you do. And you make it very poignant. And when Paul comes up, I know I'm going to hear something important. And I don't know. I think we think of leaders as someone that's having big platforms. But I disagree. The people that I looked up to, hardly probably anyone would ever know. Because I looked up and they didn't know I was looking up to them. But when I saw something special. And you don't need a big platform to do that. And I don't think that you need that too.
Yeah, I don't need it, but it does help. Yeah, let's just be real. You know, you got 30,000 people subscribed to you. Like you said, 460 people are watching us right now. You know, I can only hope that my voice inspires people. Like, I can only hope that my example, because for me,
it did inspire people. It does. Let me go back to this screen. It does inspire people. It has inspired me to make this video. Your voice on that platform where that lady is talking about how she is hurt by what the men have done, you jumped up on the platform to, like, she played a video of myself and some other people who are pointing out that the women in the manosphere are being dragged and it's unfair and blah, blah, blah. She played those videos and you jumped up on there. You hopped your happy self up there talking about, oh, what about men? What about me? Like, why? Why do y'all do this? She is not there to build their self-esteem right now. Maybe every other time and feed your ego every other time. But right now, she is talking about being hurt. So yeah, no, your voice matters. It inspired me. It's inspiring. You've inspired me to make this video. Like, how absolutely ridiculous is it that you jumped up on this woman's platform as she is telling y'all she does not feel seen, she does not feel heard, it's not okay that these men are defending this women. You now need to reassure her. You go up there to have her put her own emotions, her own feeling. She has to do so much emotional labor at this point to put all of what she's feeling aside to feed your ego. To feed the good guys, right? You're going to sit up there to have her feed your ego. In a moment where she's, well, she didn't ask for anyone to come up there and support her, but like, that's kind of what is expected. Like, that's kind of what is expected. Like, she's hurting. I came on here and I got introspective, and like literally every woman on the stream came up and like, we love you, themers, whatever. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. Even if I have just a little bit, just a little bit of like doubt or self, like an outward sort of introspection, women come up here and like, what's up? Are you good? Like I get email, like everyone is like checking in on me when I said something just random, like, oh, I don't feel too well today or whatever. Like everyone is on here doing it. And you can't extend just a little bit of grace to her. Just like put your feelings aside for a moment, because right now she's talking about being vulnerable and that she doesn't feel safe and protected and heard and all of that stuff. And you jump up here like, tell me about how great I am. Y'all don't tell me how great I am enough. This is the good guy. Got it. Got it. You don't even feel that like thing in you where you were like, it's not about me. Like all that emotional labor that other people have to do on your behalf, it's sickening. It is sickening. Oh my God. How do you not feel bad? How do you not feel like I need to be there for this person who's there for me? How do you not feel that? Why is there no, like, why didn't you feel like I need to go up there to say, hey, we love you? Just that and leave. I mean, probably send her some super chats still talking about your super chat didn't work. I don't know what you were trying to put in that super chat. Anywho.
If you were to ask the people that I know that are closest to me, would they describe me as a leader? I guarantee you a lot of them would say no. But they will say that he is very straight up, because I am. You know, I'm straight up like.
I didn't have to ask if you were. You hopped up on a woman's platform, and instead of reassuring her because she thinks she does not feel seen, she thinks she does not feel heard. She's saying it feels like the men have hurt her feelings in the space. And maybe you aren't the man in the space, so I'm not blaming you for that. But she's being vulnerable. You went up there to tell her, I don't feel seen. Tell me I'm great. Tell me I'm great. Please, let me not do that hand thing on my head again. Tell me I'm great. And she does. You don't have to tell me people around you don't think you're a leader. You really don't have to tell me that. You don't have to tell her that. You don't have to tell anyone in the chat. She gonna deny it. And she gonna tell you she thinks you're a leader. But you didn't have to tell her. I promise you didn't have to tell her. A lot of people lie to themselves about who are leaders and who are not, because I think ultimately the cognitive dissonance that exists about how we see these people versus who they really are, we have to make them connect in some ways. And what we do, we lie to ourselves. That's what we do. And that's what I'm assuming they're going to do. So, yeah.
If this is what it is, if I say this is it, it's going to be like this, then it's going to be like that. It's either, not to say that it's my way or the highway, but it's like, yo, I got standards. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to come around me and call me a nigga like I'm some street dude. Like, nah, you're going to come to me with some respect.
Yeah.
You know, my name is Paul, and that's it. Nothing else.
Well, yeah. And then again, like I said, I ain't, and even Alan, you know, I mean, I've been on YouTube for like 2 years. So it's not like I just started a page and then I just got it. I mean, I made a name on a platform for myself. Alan was doing the work, doing the grassroots work, doing this in college. So
she's saying build something. She's not going to say it, but she's saying, you're like, oh my God, I need this, I can't do it. Just build it.
It starts somewhere. And the more that you do it, the more confidence that you'll get in you'll have for yourself, the more that you're able to speak up and share your thoughts and opinions. I'm still trying to get better in articulating myself. I'm still trying to get.
By the way, she's not wrong about building from scratch and figuring out what you need to do and getting better at it. Figure out what your weaknesses are and getting better at it. She's not wrong. You're up here asking her why aren't people praising you? Why don't you praise yourself? Y'all have literally the manosphere, and I feel like you should be talking about how great black men are if you believe black men are great. I feel like you should be showing black men how to become lawyers, doctors, or whatever you want them, how to get into trade school, how to build businesses if that's what they need to do. Tell them to smile more if that's what they need to do, because black men smile, black boy joy. Hug each other. Hug the homie. Hug the homie, as Prince Petty would say. I'm being dead serious.
Get better at talking about something I'm passionate about, not shedding a tear. I got to work on that myself. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm still working on. But, you know, leadership, I think, is something that can.
While you're working on those things, he's working on coming up there to tell him that he is great. He just said, people around, this is the weird thing. He says, people around me would not say I'm a leader, but I need you to tell me I'm great. I mean, you can be great without being a leader, but I'm just pointing this out, that she's out here talking about building and developing herself and being better, and you hopped up there to tell her to tell you that you're great. That's what you hopped up there. Even though you're telling her that people around you don't think you're a leader. Well, maybe you need to build, maybe people will start saying you specifically are great when you start being great. I don't know. People around me would say I'm a leader. I don't know why, because I ain't leading nobody nowhere. Just be talking.
And be also taught. But no, you people know who Paul is. People know who you are. Your voice matters, and it's always going to matter.
Yes, thank you, Courtney.
Oh,
But look, I love you.
I love you too, Paul.
I love you, Courtney. Thank you for having me on. I'll leave you to it.
I'll probably be there if you're gonna be in Atlanta.
I'll be there.
I'll see you.
That's what you should have started with. That's what you should have started and ended with. That's what you should have started and ended with. And I'm going to keep the part in there about being a leader. I don't want to lead anyone. Like, I just want to be good. I don't even request that people be a leader. Just be a good person. Just make the next right move. That's it. Just do the next right thing. That is literally it. Do the next right thing. Hopped up there. We love you, Courtney. Thank you for what you do, and move on. Up there talking about, tell me I am great. No.
Get in.
I will see you then. Good night.
Bye. Oh. We need to talk. Alan is doing an event, in-person event. Y'all go to his page and check it out. I might mosey on over there. I don't know. All right. What up, Dr. Steele?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What you got for me?
This one. Actually, Paul and what's his name? Dr. Steele. I'll highlight y'all. This is going to be the name of this video. Paul and Dr. Steele. Ain't no edit. I'm just going to plop an intro at the beginning and throw the end scream at the end, and that's it. Because, girl, this one, she bamboozled me. How dare she? Oyster, I loved her. I was subscribed to her. It's like, girl, why? First of all, we've been on this whole racist conversation for a while. Why did you subscribes? Why did you subscribe to her? Tell me that. Fashion fit wasn't enough. All these men with podcasts dragging women wasn't enough. There's just not enough. Your appetite is just, you just need more women being dragged. You just need people. Why? It's not like Pearl had anything meaningful to the conversation. Let's be clear. Let us be clear. Pearl does not add anything meaningful to the conversation. I said Pearl. I meant Oyster. My bad, Pearl. This is not about you. It's about Oyster.
Me today.
Okay, first thing, I'm a person who always calls a spade a spade.
Mm-hmm.
Some men keep calling women, the enemy, and I don't see it. There are some women who do hate black men. I see them all the time, but they now also know there are black women who do support us. Mm-hmm. I know you support us. Six and Danica support us. Security Boss support us. River support us. I see these women all the time, and I'm sure there are women, black women out there who's not in even in these YouTube streets who support us. Okay, so I'm just calling a spade a spade. Now, let me say this: I told this story on D6's site. I think it was 2 days ago.
He's the one that Sex the Goddess, who beautiful woman by the way. Beautiful woman, by the way. Just FYI. I don't know why. I just don't understand the manosphere, honestly. I honestly don't understand that. I'm gonna leave that alone. He went up there talking about, I can't believe. This is pure comedy. I can't believe she said something like that. I was a subscriber. I was a member. I believed in her. He believed in, you know what, let me continue because I can't. Oh God, we're at an hour. My bad.
Before this whole thing with Pearl went on, I was actually a subscriber to Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she talked about relationships, which is my favorite topic because I'm trying to understand more about relationships. But
Yeah.
then when O'Shea came out with the news of O'Shea,
How old do you think this man is? How old do you think this man is talking about she's trying to understand relationship? Does Pearl have a degree in relationships? Like, why are you going to... You were like... I'm not going to guess your age. I heard that's like disrespectful in the US, so I'm going to leave that alone. But I feel like you're closer to 70 than 40. So it... How are you sitting up there talking about, oh, I went to this 25-year-old girl to go learn about relations? Y'all playing in people's face. What enticed you about a white woman trashing black women? Why? I need those questions answered. Was Fashion Fit doing it not enough? Was the roommate doing it not good enough? Was the little... You say the name and were they not good enough? Were the women in the Manosphere not good enough? Trashy. Why? Carol, he needs to be dragged.
what she said, I was like, what? You know? And I was thinking, I don't know. I think she needs to explain herself on this. And she did. And she says she hold herself accountable, which we all know she was not very sincere about it.
Mm-hmm.
But what made me unsubscribe from her channel?
So I didn't hear this part. I remember him from the other channel, so that's why. And didn't hear this part. This is where I'd stopped because I knew I wanted to talk about Paul, and then I would include him just as a general matter. That but, I don't know what you're gonna say after this but I'm concerned. You heard her say this racist thing. You said it was racist. She then said she held herself accountable. You didn't believe that. But you still were on there. That's not what have you unsubscribe. All of that happened. But that didn't make you unsub... How old is this man? Someone needs to ask this man how old he is. And is that doctor in front of his name real? Because, girl...
Was the furthest that I saw of her friend, who was King Rich's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
This buffoon was saying some racist thing about King Rich's, and you know, the girlfriend bashed the hell out of him, right? And while Pearl was just sitting back laughing and carrying on, while she was just defending King Rich's.
Yeah. Yeah.
That got me unsubscribing right there. And also it made me wonder about King Rich's himself. All right.
To be clear, you didn't care when she was racist towards an entire group of people that you belong to. You didn't care about any of that when she diminishes racism and slavery. You didn't care about all of that, right? No, that was fine. But when she sat beside the man she interviewed, and that man, not even her, is dragging a white woman for dating a black man, that's why you unsubscribe from her. You unsubscribe from her who is silent because the racist guy she's talking to said something racist about a black man specifically, but you were fine with her downplaying slavery. Like, you were fine. y'all play too much. And you are too compassionate and kind, the Courtney lady. Like, absolutely. You know what? I'm annoyed. I have to go. It's almost... Oh, what's the time saying? Oh my God, it's almost 8 a.m. Oops, I have to go shower. I have to go to work. Bye. Let me try to throw this together quickly and put it up. I am so sorry. This is going to be a hot mess. This video is going to be a hot mess. Bye.